We are probably going to be expanding onto Twitch, though. Right now, it's just me and one lonely staff member who's actually they are on vacation, so it's just me right now. But that's okay. Today is the topic I am very excited about. We are going to talk about winter preparedness, guys. This is maybe not the most exciting topic. This isn't really a news topic. I love talking about the news, but the reality of it is this is something that needs to be talked about. People need to know how to be prepared for the winter time. And I think this is a good time to talk about it here on Thursday before Thursday night football. I would love to dive into news, but I really want to stay at the topic at hand, which is winter preparedness. We're going to cover the three basics today. So, food, heat and shelter, and of course, water. Let's start with water because it's the easiest and shortest explanation. There's a number of different ways you can go with saving water for your family. The issue is bottled water can get expensive, right? So I like these things. I use these while I camp. I use these while I do everything. This is a Pure straw. This is the actual one I would recommend, right? This is the Life straw. You can buy these in bulk. I bought a 6-pack of them. Each one of these roughly gives you a year worth of water. It filters 4,000 liters of water. So if you ever find yourself without water, whatever, these life straws. This is the Pure straw, different brand, same kind of concept. I believe it's a 4 or 5 stage filter. Each one's a little bit different, but you drink through. Put this end in the water. You drink through here. It's very simple, a good way and a cheap way to keep everything kind of together, right? Yeah, I agree. Keep blankets in your car. Yeah, guys. But people learn the hard way. But yeah, but I would like for people not to have to learn the hard way. So water, you could go the water, you could go the store water route, storage water, whatever. I just, these things are cheap. I bought a 6-pack for $55 of the Life straws. Had this for about a year now. It still works and filters water. I'm just saying, these are just more cost efficient than any other choice you're going to have. Whereas buying bottled water, you're going to go through that shit. This stuff, you got about a year worth of water in the filter straw. There's instructions on how to properly clean them. So do not throw out at least one of the packs because trust me, you are going to need to know how to properly clean it. If you do it wrong, they will not work anymore. So let's talk about food. Food is an interesting topic. Canned soup for your family. Obviously, this is one of the most obvious choices. Canned foods are great. They store long. You can heat them well. And as long as you have like a hot plate and a generator, you'll never have issues heating up food, even if your power is out. Or, there's other ways you can go with heating up food. But hot plate generator would probably be the easiest way to do that. Spam is another. Guys, we really can't say enough about how good Spam is for storage. They have Spam from like World War II that's they say can still be eaten. So Spam is a good meat product to keep stored. Again, it's not going to be the most tasty. It's not the most exciting thing, but Spam will definitely hold. It holds well. It is good to have in case of emergency situations. It's safe to eat. And you know what? If you like pork, Spam's not bad. And there's a bunch of different flavors other than just classic. They make breakfast ones and all kinds of different flavors you can find online. All right. Now, my bread and butter on winter food, on emergency food here, MREs. You can buy them in boxes. I have a few boxes, a few cases, right? And this MRE right here, I'll just read off what's in it for you guys so you guys can get an idea. These are, military ration packs. So this is a sweet and sour chicken with rice one, right? I get the low sodium packs. You don't necessarily have to get the low sodium, but if you're a big person like me or a big guy, low sodium is probably the way to go. All right. So I'll read what's in here. So we got sweet and sour sauce with rice and chicken. That's the entree, right? And then entree fruit flavored candies, a fig bar, raisins, crackers, seasoning packet, salt, pepper, spork towelette, heater, salt, water for heater. These heaters are great. You can heat up your food. Again, you don't need the generator. You don't need a hot plate to heat these up. These are good to go. You can throw them in your book bag for camping trips. Keep them in your car in case whatever. These are good food. And there's 1,000 calories per package, 1,060 calories per package. This The other thing with MREs, you can buy those packages like I do. I buy full cases of them. I have a couple over there. This is the other thing. This is an MRE pizza. This is not a full meal. This is just a pizza. I believe you heat it up. You can heat them up boiling water. There's a couple different ways. Directions are on all the packages of how to properly heat them. And each brand is different of MREs that you buy. And that's something I should stress. These are pizzas. Again, small meal, just in case. You don't want to like be in a situation where everything you have is just giant MRE meals because you're not going to be able to eat 1,000 calories every time you want to eat. So having stuff like this, sunflower seeds, peanuts, these MRE pizzas they're not great, but if you don't have power for 2 weeks, you know, pizza's pizza at that point. I'm not. um, and one more thing. So these things are great too. And if you are planning these things, these 72-hour food supplies, there's numbered. Mine, I get the powdered ones because I don't mind the powder. These things are also great for food, along with the MREs. It's about making sure everybody has food. I'd recommend. I think the CDC recommends a month or two of food. I recommend 3 months per person of food. Um, so if you buy a case of MREs, they either are 12 or 24, depending on the brand. If you buy the 24 packs, along with a couple of these with the breakfast meals and that, again, it's not going to be a cheap endeavor, and maybe you don't need all that at once, but I would recommend stocking up on a little bit right now because we've seen this summer everyone was losing their mind over toilet paper. So maybe let's be mindful and think ahead, right? And that's the whole plan behind this. Let's think ahead. Okay, so now food again, guys. You have to have a way to cook it with the MREs. Heating it is pretty simple because they come with heaters a lot of the times. If you don't have heaters like this one that you cook in boiled water, a pot and a generator, a pot and a fire, or whatever, you can heat that up. No problem. And that reminds me, one more thing with water. Water storage is important. Buy a giant canteen. I got to put my strap back on mine. Just buy a giant canteen to hold water. Trust me, it's much better than trying to scavenge for plastic water. But it just buy a giant canteen. They already fit the life straws perfectly. Just fire starters also, guys. Wintertime, fire starters are important, especially if you have a fireplace. Generators also important for heat because you want to be able to stay warm. If you're doing something like me, right? We have a fireplace in my house, but it doesn't work. So we have, it's capped off rather. So we have to do a generator. We have a portable heater. We have a generator, and our generator will run half capacity for about 8 hours. And you guys should know how long you can run your generators for. I would definitely recommend getting some test runs done now with your generator. So we can run ours at half capacity for about 8 hours. Half capacity for us would be like a fridge, a portable heater, a TV, right? That's half capacity. So we have a decent generator. Really, the most important thing you want to run is going to be some kind of heat source if you're running a generator and if you need something to prepare your food. That, again, is a spot. Now, for cell phone charging, I do not recommend using a generator. I recommend buying the solar-powered battery packs. So I have one. You guys that have been following my protest stream since day one, I have a giant solar-powered battery pack. It's great. It'll charge my phone nonstop, right? And the thing's fantastic. It'll charge my phone, I think, 5 or 6.5 times. I bought it on Amazon for like 60 or 70 bucks. And it charges in the sun if need be, so I don't need to waste it charging it on the generator during the daytime. So I can keep my phone charged that way. It's all about trying to, space things out because you don't know when your power's going back on in one of those situations. So, the thing is to space it out. The solar powered battery packs are phenomenal, and they're really cheap now too, guys. Solar powered anything. So I have a solar powered storm radio. You can crank it as well. It charges phones. You charge it, whatever. The thing's fantastic. Extra ways to charge devices is important, and that is something we need to hit home here because, especially if we live in, for those of you guys that live in Buffalo, it gets cold. You don't want to be out of power in the middle of February when it's -5 degrees for 2 weeks straight. That's why you want to have the generator and a space heater. Now, if you are going to do that, if you have you're going to want to block off a room probably. You're not going to want to try to heat a whole house. It's going to cost too much money in gas or propane depending on what you run your generator on. It's just going to cost too much. So What I would recommend doing if you are in a situation where you lost power, you block off a room of your house completely, blankets, everything. Put them over the windows, put them over the doorways, every opening. You close it down so that room gets warm. You keep most people in there for most of the time, guys. It's not about being comfortable with in these situations. It's about making it through and staying alive, right, and not getting sick. So that is one of the things I definitely would recommend to people. If power goes out, you have a generator and a small space heater that can heat up a room. You put blankets up over openings, over doorways, over your windows, and you let the heat kind of stay in that area because you don't want to be. And then if you do feel comfortable and it gets warm enough, you can turn off the generator. Again, conserving power. Right, that is what that this is about. And I'm not trying to freak anyone out. I'm not saying things are going to get crazy. I just think we should be prepared in case power gets taken out. So food, MREs are my biggest recommendation. And I know we just went over that. MREs of any kind, the powder food storage. I like Food Supply and For Patriots, but there's plenty of other brands out there. They do 72-hour food storage. Just keep one of these in a backpack. Throw one in a backpack for your kids. Just you want to make sure you're prepared in case things do get, what if, in case you do lose power, in case your kids are out and powered. Flashlights, again, that's another thing that I think is kind of common sense with basic storage prep flashlights, batteries. Again, basic stuff that everyone basically knows. A storm radio. I also keep CB radio always handy. I have a couple friends that have them. You know, for me, having a way to communicate with other people is huge. You know, I do recommend getting a NOAA radio. I have one of those. I don't have it within arm's reach of me, but I have a NOAA radio as well. Like I said, solar powered, it's crank powered, and you can plug it in and charge the battery. So, and it's a power bank of about 2,500 mega ohms or mega amps. So it's not great, but it's enough to charge phone in a pinch situation if need be. And again, it's crank, so if you don't have all that, you can just kind of crank it. These are things to look for though when you are trying to add stuff to your storage supply, right? When you're trying, you want to look for, you want to cross all your angles. Number one, right? You want heat, food, water. Life straws over bottled water for sure, because one of these is good for 4,000 liters. One of these life straws. This is a different brand, but you get the idea. This is the one I have open right now. It's a different brand. It's a little bit older. But you get the idea. One of these is good for 4,000 liters of water. Bottles of water are heavy. You can wear this around your neck. There's no real reason to not get one of these. I think they're 13 or 15 bucks, something like that. Like for one, I bought a 6-pack. I think it was like 60 bucks for the 6. It's just good to have this stuff in case. Fire starters, again, I wait until I bought a shit ton of them on clearance last year. And I love these Duraflame ones. Great. You can cut them in half. You don't have to only use them. So these are important things to kind of think about moving forward when we're preparing for wintertime. Space heaters, that's more of a personal preference of what kind you guys would want. My air conditioner doubles as a space heater, so we use that, but I'm also trying to buy a smaller second one for emergency situations. But this one right now we have actually will do an ample job. It's more than I actually need for my living room, but it'll do an ample job of keeping my house warm if need be. And these are just things to think about, guys. Having somewhere to put your generator outside is important. You want to have they're going to make noise, right? So you're going to draw attention, especially if there's no power. Having somewhere to store it outside is important. You don't, and most neighborhoods I think are pretty good. And like, I think it depends where you live or how you lose power. I remember the October storm when I was a kid. Basically, everybody lost power, but like my street in South Buffalo. So, it's not always a guarantee you're going to lose power. I didn't lose power a lot as a kid, believe it or not. I don't think I've really lost power as an adult too much, if I'm honest with you. So, but MREs, guys, I know I keep saying it, but they're my favorite source of emergency food. You just, you can't beat these. They're full meals. They're ready to go. You can throw them in book bags. Even Skittles are in there in this one. Like, they're just good to have. There's a reason soldiers been using them for as long as they have. The crackers, you know, they have all the utensils, everything you need to eat. I bought 2 cases over the summer pretty cheaply. I know prices have gone up a little bit on some of this emergency stuff. So if you were buying them earlier in the year and last year, you saved a ton of money. Um, Number 10 cans of black beans. I also recommend giant things of rice as far as food goes. You know, your choices for food are really endless, right? And I would talk about car preparedness. I know kitty litter, flares, stuff like that are all important to keep in your car. Blankets, like someone said earlier. These are all things to think about moving forward, guys. We just want to be prepared for the winter time. Now, this is just introduction. We're going to go more in depth on Saturday with specific things, but today I just wanted to do an intro. I just kind of wanted people to get a general idea of what we're going to try to do because this isn't only about doing news. Like we like doing the news, right? We do. I do anyways. But I think the thing is we also want to educate people and show people what's going on. And this is part of what's going on. Is being prepared. We had people fighting over toilet paper. So let's just be prepared this winter. Let's not freak out, guys. You guys have a good day. Thank you guys for all tuned in on Facebook and YouTube. It looks like there's quite a bit on YouTube. You guys have a good day. I will see you guys later.